Hello everyone, and today we are ranking Bratz. The video games at least, the PS2 version. Okay, so first what we're going to be talking about is Bratz Rock Angelz. So these are some things that I like about Bratz Rock Angelz. First, the non-playable characters call you by your name. They're like, "What's up, Sasha?" Well, obviously that was Dylan, but obviously nostalgia. I love the Bratz. I've been playing all three games for like a decade over at this point. The fashion lines are really good. I mean, Diamondz, debatable, but oh my gosh, Ooh La La is so cute. I love Ooh La La. Next up, finding tokens. Finding tokens is so fun because it stresses me out, which sounds very, sounds like an oxymoron and counterintuitive, and the other word that I'm looking for that I don't know off the top of my head, but it's so much fun to just go searching everywhere and try and find out where it is. Menial tasks are so much fun to me. I love it when people are like, "Oh, can you help me do this? Can you help me find this? Can you help me?" I love it. I don't know why. It just gives me a sense of purpose. The artwork, I love when video games include artwork. Like the Spyro Reignited trilogy has, the Bratz games have. I mean, tell me what other games have included their artwork from the game, like concept artwork or whatever, into their game, because that is so cool. I love that kind of stuff. The map board. You literally have every single place in Stylesville or London or Paris or whatever. I didn't really need those in London or Paris, but Stylesville sometimes you need those. And then you see the whole entire map, and then you go to where you're searching for, and they're colorized with sections. It's so cool. Concept art for the locations. That was so cool. Do you know how cool it was to see what the entire stage, like an aerial view of the stage, looked like for the mansion? That was awesome. The voice acting and the voice actors for the characters, oh my gosh. Like, I like the voice characters for the Bratz the Video Star and Asylum movie. I think those are really good. But there's just something about Dione Kwan and Olivia Hack and Charlie Schlatter and Soleil Moonfry and Tia Mowry and Ogie Banks III and all these people. There's just something about them being these characters that I just love more than anything. Another thing, the music. Who I Am, I Don't Care, so good. Yes, please, thank you. Love it. But here's what I don't like about Bratz Rock Angelz. For one, the non-playable characters insult your fashion. They ask you if it's Halloween already. They say, "Well, I guess let's some makeup that could look okay." You know, you can call me by my name. Thank you for making this feel more real. But don't insult me. Because, no offense, Dylan, but your fashion? No thank you. Subpar graphics and glitches. Hear me out. So, this one is from 2005. I understand that it's no Metal Gear Solid, but the graphics kind of suck. Like, have you seen the water in that game? It looks really bad, and there's glitches, like the hair glitches, all over the place. Not being able to mix and match fashion lines together, this is the only one out of them that you can't do that. And I think that they realized that that was something that you probably shouldn't include in the game, is not being able to mix and match the fashions, which is why in the other games it's fixed. But this one, it's like, "Oh, you need to change your bottoms before you go out because they're not matching." Excuse me? Do you think I wear the same stuff from Old Navy? No, I wear like this from Old Navy, this from TJ Maxx, this from Target. Like, come on. Doing the same tasks for the magazine every issue. I know I just said that I like menial tasks, but there's one. See, I have examples. So, an example. Jade makes a custom shirt for 2 of the 3 magazine issues and poses for a picture of it at Picture This. Pretty sure it's the first magazine and the 3rd magazine. Why? I don't need to be doing the same thing with the same girl. I mean, if this were a real magazine, then wouldn't that just be boring all the time? Also, only being able to purchase and watch the cutscenes from the movie and not the cutscenes from the game itself. So I realized that those cutscenes are what your character is wearing at that time, But sometimes I want to see them again. Like, if it's what happened at that time, why not after it does that, like, it internally records it and then stores it at the city cinema. So then, if it's like in Half Moon Joe's playthrough of Bratz Rock Angelz, both of them, Chloe's wig falls off. And it's so funny. Why not be able to watch that again and again and again? You know what I mean? The music players only being the stores and only playing one song repeatedly. I love Who I Am and I Don't Care, but I can only listen to them like 3 times in a row before I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm done. And if you say, who spends more than 9 minutes in one of the stores or one of the screens? Me. I do. I want to dress them, and I want to put on makeup, and I want to fix their hair. And sometimes there's multiple girls. You know what I mean? So these are some things that I wish were in Bratz Rock Angelz. 1, the hairstyles were available everywhere once you buy them. So I don't want to have to go to London if I want the cool Roxy hair or the boho and highlights. I want to be able to go on down to Cool Cuts or City Looks and be able to get it there, which is the example that I have. So if you buy it at City Looks, it can be seen at Cool Cuts and etc. So larger sized artwork. I understand that this was made for the PS2 and like the GameCube and stuff, so the graphics are different. The storage, CPU compatibility, whatever, all that smartsy, like, technical jargon and whatever. I understand that. I just wish it were bigger, because on my screen, it looks really, really small. I mean, obviously, I recorded this with my capture card, so I could see it on my computer screen. It was a little bit easier, but it was still so small, and I just wish it were a little bit bigger so then we could see it in all of its glory. Because, I mean, like, if you're going to put it in there, at least let it be large enough for me to appreciate it. So a free play / free world option once the game is completed. So in the third game, which I'm probably spoiling the rest of my presentation, but that's a thing. I wish after you completed the magazines, you could just be in the world. Like, once you raced Berdeen, you didn't have to go back to your last save point. You could just have fun. Also, being able to do fashion shows whenever I want, wearing whatever I want, after the game is complete. So instead of having just the last show being like, we can wear whatever we want, girls, and being like, yeah, I wish that after the game was complete, you could just do fashion shows wherever you wanted to. If I wanted to do one in London with the ooh la la stuff, I want to be able to do that. Why can't I? Next game we're going to be talking about is Bratz Forever Diamondz. So these are things that I like about Bratz Forever Diamondz. Nostalgia. This was my first game out of the 3 that I'm talking about that I have played. I got it for Christmas, and it makes me so happy. The fashion lines and being able to mix and match them together. Sweet Dreams, beautiful, chef's kiss. Princess, beautiful, chef's kiss. Tricked Out, beautiful, chef's kiss. My favorite line, my favorite outfit to do when I was younger was one of the Tricked Out jackets with the rodeo skirt. You couldn't do that in the first game. This game you can mix and match them together. Finding tokens. The same as what I said in Bratz Rock Angelz. I love being able to find the tokens and then being like, oh my god, I have to get all 100 of them. I don't know why, but that stress is exhilarating, and it's like a challenge. So unless you play it like consistently all the time to know where every 100 tokens are without looking, which I'm not to that point, so it was so much fun trying to find all the tokens. Menial tasks. I love searching for Phoebe's pet supplies. I love asking people and then having to ask Casey like 2 or 3 times and then her girl will finally be like, oh, well, yeah, but that's because I didn't want them to have it. Like, it's so much fun. I don't know why other people don't like doing stuff like that. The home feature was a lifesaver and a time saver, let me tell you. So, if you don't know anything about Bratz Forever Diamondz, there is a, you have your cell phone, but there's a new feature on there called the home feature. You press it and it transports you straight to the office. You don't have to walk around. That sounds really lazy, but it's good for speedrunning tactics. That's why it's easier to speedrun this game than it is Bratz Rock Angelz. The artwork for this game is so much better than the first game. And probably because it's a little bit more refined, because obviously this came out later. Bratz was further along in its like fashion doll career. It's gorgeous. The voice acting and the characters. They have the same voice actors as the first game. And it's the same. And I love it. And I love continuity. The music and it being on the phone so you can listen to it wherever. So the music is not just from the Bratz Angelz soundtrack. It's actually from Bratz Forever Diamonds, Bratz Genie Magic. They didn't add the stuff from the Bratz Fashion Pixies until the third game, but they also had some music from the TV show, but it's on the phone. So instead of just being in like this shop, you can listen to it wherever, and it's different songs and doesn't play the same one over and over again. And I love it. The best cutscene I've ever watched in a game ever is in this game. It is the finale cutscene, and I love it, and it gets me every single time. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because I'm not going to spoil my Let's Play. That will be from October to December, so stay tuned for that. Here's some things I don't like about Bratz Forever Diamonds. So, the non-playable characters don't call you by your name. They don't berate your fashion, which is good, but they don't say anything to you. They're just like, hi. I'm like, yeah, but I'm Yasmin. Are you going to say anything to me? Because, like, for an example, Cameron in the first game was like, hey, Chloe. And then he'd be like, hey, Sasha. Like, two very different highs, because he likes Chloe. He doesn't have a crush on Sasha. Two very different highs. In the Bratz Forever Diamonds, he's just like, hey, like to all four girls. And I'm like, what? Because when I play Chloe, I don't feel as special. And that is an issue with me. Subpar graphics and glitches. This game has less glitches than Bratz Angelz and better graphics, but it still isn't where it could be. It needed to be more refined. A lot better. That being said, it was also in 2006, so can't really complain about it too much, but it is something to consider. Like I said, it's much better than Bratz Angelz. Only being able to purchase and watch the cutscenes from the movie and not the cutscenes from the game itself. So this is something that I will probably say for all three games, but sometimes I just want to watch, like, without my voice or somebody else's voice. Like, there's this one cutscene, and it's right before the first fashion show, and Yasmin looks absolutely blazed out of her mind, and it's so funny. And sometimes I just want to watch that at the city cinema over and over again. The locate feature, hate it. The map board in the first game, absolutely loved it. The locate feature, if you want to find Meow and Ruff, you have to be in the mall, like the outdoor part. You can't be in the fashion promenade. It's basically gonna have you believe it doesn't exist. And I don't like that. That's so confusing. How do you expect 6-year-olds to know that they have to be in the mall? Are they gonna be a smart 6-year-old? I don't know. So that's why I don't like the locate feature. It's good in theory, but it needed some work. The glitch that happens in the second magazine where the music randomly stops and starts. So, there's a glitch that is infamous for the GameCube and the PS2 versions for Bratz Forever Diamonds, and basically Bratz Forever Diamonds only. So, after the first show, at the start of the second magazine, you'll be in a store. Music will be fine. You'll go outside to like the mall or like the inside part of the fashion promenade that's not in a store. The music will play for like 0.2 seconds and then it'll fade out or just like randomly abruptly cut. It's so strange, but it'll play in the stores and in the office. I'm just like, do you not want to play music out in public? Like, I'm confused. So these are some things that I wish were in Bratz Forever Diamonds. The hairstyles were available everywhere once you buy them. So for example, bought at City Looks can be seen in Cool Cuts. So there's this one hairstyle. It's called high ponytail with bangs or something. I don't know. It's whatever Fianna wears. You can only buy it at City Looks. But you can only go into City Looks and get it. You can't get it at Cool Cuts. And I'm just like, why? If I bought it, I should be able to get it anywhere. I shouldn't be able to have to go like, oh, I'm at Kiss and Makeup to do my makeup. But I can't run up to Cool Cuts to get my hair in this one. Or the opposite. Cool Cuts has the braided pigtail. City Looks doesn't. And it's so, I just don't understand. Highlighted hairstyles, like in Bratz Angelz. There's no fun highlighted hairstyles in Bratz Forever Diamonds. It's just regular natural. Which, I mean, they do have one that's like side part and low lights. That's not the same as having like the cool half mohawk thing with the blue in it that Jade has in Bratz Angelz. Larger sized artwork. Like I said for the previous game, if you're going to include it, let me see it in its full glory. You worked on it. I want to be able to see it. Being able to go back to Stylesville freely. So, in Bratz Forever Diamonds, you're a part of this, like, fashion TV show, and you have to travel across the country to New York. But once you leave Stylesville, you're not going back the rest of the game. It's not like in Bratz Rock Angelz, where you have, like, world tours, and you go to London, and then you come back home, and then you go to Paris, and then you come back home. Once you leave Stylesville in this game, you don't go back. And I'm just like, why? I don't understand. I mean, I guess it's part of the story, but sometimes I'm just like, it gives me anxiety because I'm like, what happens if I didn't get all the tokens in Stylesville? I won't be getting them again. Free play, free world option once the game is completed. Same as what I said in Bratz Rock Angelz. I want to, after I finish the game, I want to be able to wear, like, the Diamondz stuff after the show. Because you literally only can wear the Diamondz stuff for the New York show, and that's it. And I want to be able to wear it everywhere. I want to be able to go back to Florida and be like, look at all my diamonds. Like, why not? You know what I mean? Also, being able to do fashion shows whenever I want, wearing whatever I want. So after the game is completed, I want to be able to go to New York and be like, you know what? I'm going to model some Sweet Dreams fashions from Florida. This is the latest and greatest in Florida, y'all. Like, why not? Where's the park? Like, I say this in my playthrough that's coming up, but they demolished the park. The office is now a double-sided building, which half the time I'm like, yes, thank you. I don't want to have to walk to the park. The other times I'm like, oh, I kind of miss the park. It was cool. It would be a cool feature and also have the locate feature, because I think having the double-sided building and the home feature is just like a double, like, speed run strat type thing. But if you had the park and the home feature, I'd be like, you know, the park's alright. Maybe I don't go there as often because it has the home feature, but it's alright. So now we're going to talk about Bratz the movie. These are things that I like about Bratz the movie. For one, nostalgia. I really love this game. I remember renting it from Hastings. Yeah, someplace that doesn't exist anymore. I remember renting it from Hastings because I was like, oh my gosh, a new Bratz game. I love the one that I have. So I remember playing it. And I loved it. The fashion lines and being able to mix and match them together. So you can have vintage Bratz, quote unquote, and it comes with Sweet Dreams and high school. Well, technically it's high school refresh, but still. And you can wear, like, all the old stuff and the new stuff and mix it and match it together. And I love it. It's so good. I think my favorite fashion line that's just for Bratz the movie probably has to be Pampered Puffs, because it's pink and it's cute. And I like pink and cute. That or Sweethearts. Sweethearts is super cute too. Like I said, vintage clothing lines from Bratz Forever Diamonds. Menial tasks. I love it. I love doing stuff for people. I cannot stress this enough. If someone goes, hey, you want to help me out with some smoothie deliveries? You'll be really great and you can get some good tips. I'll be like, yes, Eaton. Let me do it. I would love to. Let me go give Fiona a smoothie in Dance Heaven Plaza. I would be honored. The home feature makes its return in this one, and it saves so much time. I love it. The artwork is gorgeous because it's even more refined than the first two games, because they've gone even further into the career of the Bratz fashion doll line. The characters, I cannot stress that enough. I love the characters. The music and it being on the phone, so you can listen to it wherever. Same with Bratz Forever Diamonds. And they added more songs, so the same ones from Bratz Forever Diamonds, but added more songs from the Bratz Fashion Pixies track. I love it. Dear Chloe column. So if you've ever seen the original series, Chloe talks about her Dear Chloe column all the time. She doesn't mention it in the video games until the third game. I don't know why, but I love the Dear Chloe column because she's like, these readers ask me what to do. I should give them some advice. I like the idea of being able to go ask around for the advice. Because sometimes it's hard to make up your own advice, and hearing other people's point of view, it's pretty healthy. New custom design clothing options. You can make pants in this game. It's not just shirts anymore. You can make pants and skirts and shoes. I love it. But here are some things that I don't like about Bratz the movie. Again, the non-playable characters don't call you by name, so I don't feel quite as special. subpar graphics and glitches. I mean, the graphics are above what the first 2 games were. Not nearly as many glitches, but the hair glitches quite a bit. So like one of the hairdos, it will have streaks in it, and I don't think it's supposed to. So they're much better than the previous 2 games, however. Your pet has to find the tokens for you. And I'm like, what? So basically, you will only find tokens in like the outdoor areas of the game. And your pet will like bark or meow at you, depending on if you have a dog or a cat, and they'll have a little exclamation point by it. And then it'll be like, hey, I found something. Sometimes it's not a token though. Sometimes it's just more treats or blings. And like, it's good in theory, but after you're used to finding the tokens in the first 2 games, it takes away the fun of it. Only being able to purchase and watch the cutscenes from the movie and not the cutscenes from the game itself. Again, that's something that I've said about the first 2 games. The locate feature. Same as Bratz Forever Diamondz. If you're in the Fashion Promenade, you cannot find something that is located in Dance Heaven Plaza. And I don't know why. The glitch that happens in the second magazine where the music randomly stops and starts. So it's not as often as in Bratz Forever Diamondz, but sometimes it does happen. And I think it's because the Fashion Promenade has music, like elevator music, that plays. So when you're in the stores, you can play your own music. But once you're in the Fashion Promenade, it plays the elevator music that's in the Fashion Promenade. And I don't know if anybody has ever like really listened to that, but I promise you can hear it. What's the point of them writing letters for Dear Chloe when she goes and talks to them anyways? So let me explain. I love Dear Chloe, and I love how she's like, so-and-so wrote me and was like, hey, people think I'm bossy, what can I do? And you go ask around for advice on what to tell them. That's fine and all, but why are you going to tell the person in person the advice instead of just writing it in the column? I don't understand that. Things I wish were in Bratz the movie. Again, the hairstyles being available everywhere once you buy them. Bought at City Looks, can be seen at Kiss and Makeup, because in this game, Cool Cuts doesn't exist anymore. And sometimes I want to be able to buy a certain hairstyle and also have it at City Looks. Like the Sierra wig. I want to be able to buy it at City Looks, use it at Kiss and Makeup. You can only buy it in New York and wear it in New York, and I don't understand why. Highlighted hairstyles like in Bratz Walk Angelz. I know I said one of them glitches and has highlights in it, but it's not cute highlights, it's like pinstripe pink highlights. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. And I love pink, but this does not look good. The OG hairstyles for the girls. So, if you haven't played Bratz the movie, you won't know this, but they look older and they have different hairstyles and stuff, which is good, but you can't have the regular jade hair or the regular 2 ponytail thing that Sasha has going on. It's just the bouffant semi-up and the swooped side bang something or whatever. So they don't look like themselves, if that makes sense. Larger size artwork. The artwork in this game is gorgeous. I want to be able to see it in its full glory. I will never be able to stress that enough. Being able to do fashion shows wherever I want, wearing whatever I want. So this game actually has a free world option after the end of it, which is why I want it in the first 2. Because after this one, it's like, oh, you didn't get all the tokens? Here, you can get all the tokens now, which actually, technically, it's partially true. So if you get 75 of the tokens through the game, after you complete the game, you kind of have to find them all again. So, which is what I read online. I don't know if that's like actually true, because I haven't really tried to find the tokens in Bratz the movie because your pet has to find them for you. But after the game is over, just because it's a free world doesn't mean that you can do fashion shows whenever you want, wearing whatever you want. In the fashion shows, you can only wear your custom styles, and I hate that. And again, where's the park? The park is just missing after the first game, and I don't understand why. Like, you're gonna use all that graphic memory for just the first game and not the other 2? And I mean, I guess that's probably why they're not in the other 2, but still. Stylesville and New York. So what I mean by this is, in the second game, New York has this place called the Park, or Central Park is what it's based off of. It's literally just like a circle with a fountain in the middle. It's not in the third game. The door to get there is there, but you can't go to the park. The park is just gone. And I don't really understand why. Okay, so we're ranking these on replayability, in order from most replayable to least replayable, which is subjective to my own opinion and is based on gameplay and features. So based on the things that I've talked about, this is what it is. So first up, we have Bratz PS2 Diamondz. She obviously is a diamond. I would sit and play her over and over and over again. Beautiful story, great graphics, well, better than the first one. Obviously it's only as great as 2006 for very low budget video game can be. Great story, good cutscenes, good fashion lines. I mean, what more can I say? Bratz Angelz. Now, surprisingly, I put this one above Bratz the movie. But here's why. When I really thought about it, Bratz Angelz is just it's a really good game. Has great fashion lines. The story is good. It has those highlighted hairstyles. The fashion shows are so much cooler. But then we have Bratz the movie. You'd think that this one would be the best out of all of them, since it's the third one and is more refined. But there's something about it that it lacks. It feels a lot more juvenile, which is crazy considering all three of them are a game for literal 6-year-old girls. Or boys. I mean, it doesn't matter. Just for 6-year-olds. But there's something in this game that's lacking compared to the other two. And I don't know if it's all of the changes that are not necessarily for the better or what it is. So let's just rank them, like, at all. In order of best to worst. Also subjective to my own opinion and is based on gameplay and features. No surprise at number 1, we have Bratz PS2 Diamondz. No surprise at number 2, we have Bratz Angelz. And no surprise at number 3, we have Bratz the movie. So replayability and the ranking overall is the exact same, because when you look at it, replayability is a really huge factor when you look at video games at all. Like sometimes, when you replay the same game for 15 or so years or whatever, just doing the same thing over and over, it can get really stale. But I feel like replayability is one of the biggest factors that you can have in a video game. So, I mean, that's kind of why replayability and ranking them is like the same, but also because of gameplay and features and the stuff that I've already talked about. So, I did not and will not add Bratz Girls Really Rock because I have not and will not play it. Which, actually, kind of been thinking about that since I've made this. I might, and I only might because of the artwork.